Hey, what's up guys, aarava here and welcome back to a brand new video, and in this one we're discussing the brand new track changes coming to F1 22 and showing you the brand new track changes coming to Albert Park at Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix and Yas Marina for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Of course, the Spanish Grand Prix is changing as well, Catalonia, but we saw some actual gameplay of that. But, you know, because the Spanish Grand Prix is before the game release, we got like a hot lap video. I suspect the next hot lap video we see, as I alluded to in that Spanish GP gameplay video, is probably going to be Monaco. If you had to bet, I would say we're going to get a Monaco hot lap on Friday or Thursday this week. So logically, I don't think we're actually going to get gameplay of Australia or Abu Dhabi in terms of like a hot lap posted by EA and Codemasters. They've released these photos instead now, which is quite early to release, you know, photos like this if you were going to show gameplay. You know, you'd rather keep it close to your chest and then just show it in the gameplay video rather than giving screenshots and giving the game away. So I don't think we're going to get necessarily gameplay of these tracks. So I thought I'd make a quick video just to go through the photos basically and kind of, you know, show off what drastic changes are actually there, because for the first time they've actually gone back and changed some of these circuits. And not just that, they've actually used LiDAR, they've used laser scanning to make the circuit more accurate, not just in the places where the track has changed largely, but everywhere around the circuit it's gotten so much more realistic to what it is like in real life. Having a look at Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix, you can see the dramatic profile differences into so many of these corner entries and exits. Turn 3, you know, the apex has been pushed back. We've got some new curbing as well. You know, the entry is a bit wider because of the apex being pushed back, and then you've got that exit which is wider now but then narrows back in to that classic then as we go through into the left-hander. Further down to the next sector, obviously this is the beginning of the entirely new section at Albert Park. So again, the apex on the inside has been pushed back, so that is now such a wide entry, and the racing line is very different, as you can see by the kind of tire marks on the road, because you want to kind of get over to the left-hand side to then give yourself a good slingshot into what is now a very different section, obviously because the track itself has changed massively, not just because of the more accurate laser scanning, but you can see even, I feel, just like the run into that has been shifted to match as much as it can do with real life. Whereas I feel like maybe a few of us were maybe thinking that, you know, the new Melbourne circuit, when they redid it, was kind of going to be almost just kind of tacked on and, you know, maybe you know, altered from the old circuit, but they've really just gone in and redone the whole mapping of the circuit. And then as we get on to the end of the circuit, you've got that final less dramatic change, but quite a subtle one, of just the extension of that right-hander, which is what, like the fourth last corner. That right-hander is extended now. The brake zone's a little bit longer and a lot more 90-degree turning, kind of trying to, you know, obviously improve overtaking as much as they can. Taking a look now at Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina, of course, this was the, well, the infamous corner where Verstappen absolutely sent it down the inside Lewis Hamilton in that finale in 2021. We now have that reprofile. You can see the old circuit is still there. It's going to be still modeled, but it is now again got a whole different profile, because in real life they did actually change the way that entry goes into now that long left-hander, rather than the kind of awkward chicane before, to try and aid and encourage overtaking again. And obviously in the next sections we go down that straight, then you've got the left-right, and then that second straight where we have another major change. Now this is massive, because obviously for this sector, this used to be the kind of Mickey Mouse section of Abu Dhabi. I actually for one kind of liked it still, you know, in the F1 game it was quite fun. I guess in real life it was actually a bit of a bore fest, so I can see why they did it, but in the game it was never an issue for racing, I feel, especially in career mode. But this will just make things even crazier then, I guess, in the game, as it did in real life. You know, maybe in real life didn't give as much overtaking as they're wanting to, but it's still a challenging, interesting new take of this section of the circuit, kind of a banked bit of a left-hander, and so you can see where the, you know, where the difference basically is, and you can see that elevation. I think subtly you can kind of tell that the kind of the outside bit is higher than the inside. And then the rest of the lap, obviously Abu Dhabi, although looks quite similar, they've kind of rounded off every corner to make it way more flowing, and so that will be there with the new kind of curbs as well. You can see the sleeping policeman of that now there, so you can't actually cut the corner maybe as much as you could have done on previous F1 games, but you might not need to because the corners are so curved now and flow into one another. So overall, some really good changes. Of course, kind of long overdue in terms of, you know, all of these changes along with Spain were in the real-life season already, you know, so we've been waiting for them to get into the F1 game. We've had a whole year of playing circuits that were out of date, effectively, compared to what we were seeing in real life. But you've got to give credit where it's due. The changes look really good, and I love the fact that they're, you know, the mention of actually using laser scanning to get actual accurate proportions of the circuits, the corner entries, and then also if you factor in stuff like Kota and other circuits in the game, in the preview build we've seen, have added, you know, those serrated curbs, the extra sausage curves that are there in real life that they haven't actually officially announced. They've just subtly improved them in the game. I think it's going in the right direction. This is a good step forward to see all the circuits, I hope, getting some TLC subtly or majorly in the case of these 3 circuits. And hopefully in the future we get more track updates that are kind of laser scan versions. You know, for instance, we've got the Belgium Grand Prix Spa. When we come to it this year, it is going to be massively different. They've changed the whole entry of Rouge, basically. So we won't get that in this year's F1 game, but hopefully that's the next step next year. There's no delay. We see it in F1 23 straight away, because I think you know, surely they're going to see that it's very, very positive response to finally getting these track changes. So now with maybe more resources from EA, they can do them more often, actually do them every year, and, you know, update and keep the circuits up to date as much as they can. You know, I think we've seen in interviews Lee Mather already talk about the resources EA are able to give them with just sending extra people out to do these scanning things and do, you know, these extra bits and bobs. They spoke about how having EA employees in Miami help them make the Miami Grand Prix circuit. So, you know, with EA's backing, maybe they can send more employees out to do these laser scans at appropriate times for circuits in the future and update them. And, you know, there's been that talk about DLC circuits. You know, Lee Mather did not say no to DLC circuits. So I think the general trend, in my opinion, seems to be they're finally actually going to give tracks, like, as content in the game, a bit more love that it kind of needs. Let me know what you guys make of those actual tangible changes to the track, and then let me know what you make of what I just said there, that the kind of hypothesis and theory and hope, I guess, about that. Do you agree with me, or do you think maybe that's just maybe too wishful thinking? I don't know. Let me know. If you are new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.